Yo, what up, people? Schizophrenic, we're out here talking about something important: the afterlife, in the God in heaven and devil in hell afterlife scenario, basically for you broken down in a simple form video, which you can look back on forever, that will stand the test of time. First off, listen up. Fuck yo preacher that's fucking yo wife and yo kids. They cannot save your soul. You do not need no fucking middleman to talk to God for you. Because God listens to everything. And Satan talks to the weak and forces them to make mistakes in an endless cycle in his own game that he has with God. Because if you know anything about the underlying hints of the Bible, God is the creator of everything in the Bible, and Satan was his biggest follower, his right hand man, and he loved God the most. And he got into an argument with God, saying that people were all evil and they couldn't be trusted. And God punished him by sending him to hell, where he became the overlord of hell with all the demons. But God couldn't kill Satan, because at the end of the day, God loves Satan. They were the best of friends. They had many conversations and talks about ideology, and they probably still do to this day, only on less talking terms of, man, I used to love that nigga, but now I hate him. But I can't hate him, cause he's God. And so what does he do? He tries to ignore it. And Satan, in his own twisted way, is trying to prove that the man who knows it all, who knows everything, who always listens and never speaks, while Satan, all he does is speaks. Satan is trying to prove God wrong constantly in his own twisted way to help God with his know-it-all problem by proving that nigga wrong. And now then, let's get into heaven and hell. Hell is basically where the evil people go, the people with no redemption, not the killers, because killers are in heaven too, but we're not in that yet. The thing is that when you go to hell, your soul that was a gift from God gets tortured and gets twisted. That energy, that gift from God, that life force, that soul, not your body, but your soul. Your body's from your parents. Your life is from your parents. But your soul is from God. Gets twisted, gets warped, and you eventually transform into a bloodthirsty demon. And your soul, which is your essence, gets corrupted by pain and misery and torment and hardship and endless despair. And you transform into a soldier for the devil and become a demon at the point that you break. Not the point that you think you're gonna break, but the point when your soul actually fractures and cracks and becomes a demon, and then you work for Satan. Now heaven. Heaven, in the best way I can describe it, is for the very, very good people, the innocent people, and the neutral people. Heaven is full of killers. That's a fact. Regardless of what you've been told in church, heaven is full of killers. Because if you think that a bitch ass hoe who's begging God all day for all his problems to go away would ever be able to fight a demon when his ass can't even fight the neighborhood bully, there's no way in hell that he's going to do anything besides take that 10-inch or 10-foot fucking spike dick up his ass when heaven gets invaded by the demons. The angels are all killers that kill for God. In the innocents are probably in the inner reaches, the inner palaces of heaven, being protected from the demons. While the neutral and the good killers work for God to protect heaven from the demons, the corrupted souls that got twisted through despair and misery and pain and hell and became demons as their soul transformed and warped through the devil's evil game. And what do you think happens? Are you going to be an angel? There are probably two types of angels. Warrior angels and angels that watch over you. The angels that watch over you are probably the innocents that were given some freedom from God to explore the mortal plane and give blessings because they have good souls and they're righteous. But if you want to fight for God, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have to kill evil. Being a killer is not a sin. Revenge is not a sin. Because if you pick up the phone and call the police, your ass is getting revenge. You're having some niggas get revenge for you, but your ass is still getting revenge. If you pick up the gun yourself and you go shoot the motherfucker, your ass is getting revenge. Your ass is getting revenge. And it's an evil version of revenge. It isn't righteous in its ways unless it is revenge for an innocent who's been hurt and you're saving their life or giving them back their life. And then there's also the egotistical form of revenge by just ignoring somebody and pushing them out your life. But for certain reasons, which make it egotistical, and some versions make it not revenge, like when you're pushing them out your life to make your life better, you're doing it for you, and God approves of that. He must. But if you're pushing out their life because you done hurt them, that is evil form of revenge. Or because you think that they're beneath you. Because your ego. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths can become your weaknesses. And your weaknesses can become your strengths. You could not be able to see colors, but your ass could probably see through a fucking wall, nigga. Someday. You may be able to lift 1,000 pounds, but every time YMCA comes on, your hands are at your side. Remember that. Remember, gang. Remember, people. You gotta be a killer for God. You gotta show these people in hell that there is saviors. When I die, odds are, even though I'm a killer, and God and Satan both done kicked me out of heaven and hell multiple times, Because I've killed people in self-defense and in revenge to save an innocent soul and to save and give back life to a hurt soul and to protect my own life. I have killed people. But yet that doesn't make me a bad person, because I love spreading love and joy to people, and I'm usually mostly calm and relaxed, spending my time working instead of begging. God probably hates most the bitch ass hoes that pray to him all day, asking for selfish things like money. If you're praying for somebody else, that is a righteous thing to do. If you're praying for the well-being of somebody, that is righteous, and God approves of that. He must. He must. But if you are praying for your ass to win the lottery, God probably hates your ass, and you're in his hit list. But that doesn't mean he doesn't listen. It just means he doesn't answer your prayers. Because would you give a homeless beggar everything if you had everything? But you know that if you gave that homeless beggar everything, when you already gave his ass his soul, in the form or etchings of life to be formed in him someday, and gain his own consciousness and awareness and knowledge, then what the fuck would you do if you already gave somebody something and they're still asking for more? God's gift to you will always and forever only be your fucking soul, bitch asshole. Stop praying for God to change your fucking life and get the fuck up and do it yourself. Stop being a beggar. If you are a father, if you have annoying ass friends that are always asking to use your fucking phone, or for $5, at some point you're gonna stop giving their ass your fucking phone or $5, cause your ass needs to spend that $5 on your bills, or your ass needs to use that phone to call somebody, and they're just annoying you constantly. But God is merciful. God is forgiving. God has patience. But God's wrath is also unknown. You better remember that for the end of days. God gave you a soul. He gave you the ability to learn if you try. And as long as you try, you can go to heaven someday and get that participation trophy from God if you failed, and get that success trophy from God if you succeeded. Or your ass can be a beggar, begging God to give you everything when He already gave you a soul. Begging angels to give you wealth, a material object, when God already gave you something unphysical. With all of His power, He done granted you a soul, and you take advantage of that fucking soul, and you use it for your own purposes like He wanted you to. But yet most people use it for evil, not always good. And that makes me mad and sick and angry sometimes. and what people waste and throw away. Stop begging God. Stop looking for God for all your answers. Because He only listens. And if you ever claimed you heard God, odds are the devil is whispering in your ear and you mistook Him for God because your ass is stupid. Sorry to tell you, but it's a fact. God listens and the devil talks. And when God talks, everything listens and no one says a word because He does it so rarely now. We have the devil with his twisted ways of trying to prove God wrong in his own twisted way to help him overcome his know-it-allness, his perfection. Is that wrong? No, because God didn't erase that nigga's soul. Because God still loves Satan, regardless of how evil he is. That's a fact. And what I want you to take away from this is that you won't learn this shit in fucking church unless they don't watch this fucking video. Or they're probably someone like 607 Unc who kind of gets the idea a little bit. But heaven is full of killers. Because if you think that your innocent ass grandma is going to be fighting demons in heaven, your ass is fucking mistaken. But if you think that motherfucker that done killed somebody to save a life is going to be fighting them demons in heaven for God, using the only power that God bestowed upon him, his soul, that grows and grows with you, with all your knowledge and experience throughout life, and grants more and more power and strength within the vessel known as your soul for God's power. Thank you. Have a better day.